Alright lads, we finally have new content coming to the NA version of the game, or I say new content, but new for us, right? If you've been playing JP, you already knew this was going to be coming, you already know about this event. We're getting the Waltz in the Moonlight collaboration event, otherwise known as the Grail Live event. This is kind of like the pre-release campaign if you want to think about it that way, and they've noted that this is going to be coming out mid-April, which, because of them doing, at least for me, the data downloads every Monday, I'm expecting this to drop next Monday because it's saying mid-April, and well, that'd be the 17th. That would literally be smack dab in the middle of April, because I feel like the 24th would be more of end of April, right? So I think we can actually expect this next week, unless they want to drop it early, which I'm also fine with. If they just want to drop it on like Friday of this week or something, I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, we're talking about some of the little details that we have going into this event. I'm just absolutely ecstatic that we're finally getting new stuff over here, because while I do appreciate that they took like the hunting quest and the rank up quest and they kind of all just like threw them on the NA version all at the same time to kind of get these side events out of the way, these things that are like events but not real events, I like that they're kind of doing those already. But I need to get into some real content here, right? I'm kind of starving over here to get through some of these other events so I can start getting to Morgan, right? Because my St. Court stash is starting to get a little, not huge, but, you know, I'm ready to summon, right? I'm getting that summoning itch. So, yeah, as per usual, make sure you leave a like on the video and you subscribe to the channel for that sweet daily FGO content, as your boy does try his best to make sure that you are informed on the goings-on both the NA and the JP version of the game. Also, if you want to see me play FGO live, I do that every weekday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on my Twitch, which is linked down in the description down below. But with all that being said, enough dilly-dallying. Let's just start getting into some of the stuff that we're getting with the pre-release campaign. So first and foremost, you know, we're finally getting the buff for John, which she's actually a little bit more usable now. Basically, this is going to allow her to do some pretty decent damage and offer some decent damage for the party, because she's going to get a lot of defense down on one turn, and then that defense down is still going to carry over for the next 2 turns. Think of it like Tamamo's defensive skill, right? But instead of buffing your own defenses, you're lowering the enemy's defense, right? If you're not aware, Tamamo's defensive skill gives her really big defense for 1 turn and then solid defense for turns 2 and 3. It's like that, but it's a defense down on the opponent. So you could do some pretty neat things with Jeanne right now. Like, she's not super cracked or nutty or anything, but with this, plus her NP being pretty strong, especially post-buff, you could do some things with her, but, you know, she's still going to be waiting for like another buff or 2 probably. Probably doesn't need the Amakusa treatment where they just go through and rebuff everything, but it's at least a nice step in the right direction. And when this came out on the JP version of the game, people were like, dude, she's going to be like an offensive support type servant. She's going to like debuff everybody and then let our art servants just absolutely cook. And then they never threw anything her way ever again, which was very, very strange. Helena gets a battery, which is really nice if you're trying to use Helena for wave clears, if you're trying to use her as like a support type servant, really just anything that you're trying to use her for. Getting a battery is going to be very, very solid. If you're not aware, maybe you're sitting on a Helena and you don't have her like leveled or anything, and you're just like, what does a servant do? Basically, she's kind of like Waver at home. You know, being able to provide stars every single turn, being able to buff all of the different card types that your servants have. And then she can do some pretty decent damage after getting the NP damage buff. She can kind of hit a little bit hard. So she's kind of, yeah, just like Waver at home, just like a generic support type person that you could kind of bring to anybody. But yeah, really, really nice. Then they're also going to be going on Raid Up over here. They're bringing Shutin back if you're curious about like getting any of the new costumes for the servants, because all of these guys are indeed getting costumes. So if you wanted Shutin's costume, if you wanted Jean's costume and you don't have these guys, then you could pick them up here. I will say though that since Jeanne is not limited in any way, like if you wanted her costume in particular, you could just get it from the Grail Live event, and then you could just pick her up for the anniversary, right? Like if you really, really wanted the Jeanne costume, you could just do that. Shutin is limited, so, you know, that's a little bit different. If you're really like liking the kimono thing that they give her for Grail Live, then you could go ahead and try to get her here. She's not bad, but again, all of these servants, like, I wouldn't recommend summoning on them. Like if you really need a summoning itch, the Grail Live event is going to be bringing like a really, really strong set of banners. Like Miss Crane, again, is a very, very strong support type servant. She's kind of like inverse Chen Gong, where Chen Gong is able to kind of cycle through a lot of your buffers, right, by turning them into arrows and shooting them at your opponents, Miss Crane is able to force herself in the back line after dropping a lot of buffs on your frontline members, and then could be used again later, right? She's really, really good for kind of like cycling your buffers around, and just very, very solid overall. Plus, MHX Alter is going to be coming back around as well on this banner with her good align and special damage mod, which is really, really strong as well. It's what I think kind of keeps her in contention with someone like Tyra, where like Tyra might have a little bit more sustainability, but MHX Alter is going to do a lot more damage on account of like really good special damage mod that's really applicable, plus just being a berserker as well. So this is going to be a really, really solid banner. Plus, there's a second banner over here, which, I mean, it's not as tantalizing, I know, because some people might be like, oh, well, I want to go for like Shuten over, not this one, I want to go for Shuten over like Maeve, but do keep in mind that Maeve is also going to get a buff, and Maeve kind of becomes a little insane, a little nutty, if you will, after she's able to get her buff. Plus, I know that Nero is going to be on this banner, and a lot of people really do like Nero, so if you're wanting to pick her up as well, and you don't want to wait for like the next 4-star ticket that we have to get, you try to scoop her up over here. Again, though, overall, I'd recommend just not hitting any of these banners, but if you got to summon on something, I think these banners are a little bit more value, because, again, like, Jean's buff is nice, and, you know, you'll get the 2 Saint Quartz out of being able to do it, right? Whoop-de-doo. But it's not enough to, like, really propel her to this, like, insane status of being, like, this crazy servant that you're going to bring everywhere. It's, like, just a nice step in the right direction. Helena, very nice buff that she's getting, but, you know, not worth really going for. Again, she's essentially waiver at home. And then Shuten's fine, like 30% battery with, like, really good assassin AoE damage. If you really, really are just dying for that, just use like Spartacus. Honestly, just use someone else. Just like literally save your Saint Quartz and try to bring someone else, unless you really, really like Shooten. We're also going to be getting this campaign over here where they're going to be like, dude, we're going to be releasing all these Spiritron dresses, but it's not as special for us because we already know all of the things, right? I'm assuming why they put like the mid-April thing is that they're going to try to remake that like intrigue that they did on the JP version of the game, where they're like, ooh, look at these costumes, because we have like 12 of them coming out. So I'm assuming over the course of like this week until next Monday, when they're probably going to release the event, they're gonna like roll these out and be like, oh my goodness, look at the Prover costume that Jean is going to be getting. Oh my goodness, isn't this like so crazy? It's like, but we already know about it, which is why I'm assuming we're not going to have a 3-week dead period for Grail Live like the JP version did, because they know that we know that we're going to be getting all of these costumes. We know exactly who's getting them. Like, we already know the details of this event. So, like, I don't think they're going to try to drag it out that long, unless I'm wrong and they're just like, no, yeah, while it would make sense to release this on the 17th, we're actually going to release it on, like, the 24th or, like, the 28th or something, and call that mid-April, because yeah, you know, FGO has been a little bit wonky and weird as of late, right? So hopefully it is on the 17th. We can just kind of start moving into this event, because this is a very fun event. I really do like it. A lot of materials to get, very fun in general, with the event mechanic of kind of putting your person in the middle and having them be the idle person that's on stage, quote unquote. It's really cool. I'd like to start moving into that, and I'd like to start getting into Lost Belt 6, please. You know, I would like to read the official TLs for what is actually going on there, because I have a really solid idea of what's going on, but, you know, I want to see official translations, right? No offense to anybody that does the translations, but, you know, I'm trying to get that nitty-gritty real stuff. But yeah, with all that being said, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you're going to be summoning on this banner. I would really advise that you don't summon on this banner. As much as I am a huge Jean simp myself, I just can't in good conscience tell you to go like summon on this banner, especially even if you want the costume and you're like, man, I really, really want to use Jean with the Prover costume. Just pick her up during the anniversary, right? Pick her up as like her 5-star if you really want to get it that badly, right? You could save so much Saint Quartz and summon on, say, Koyanskaya for the anniversary instead, and really bolster the strength of your account. And you'll have a really cute, well, I was going to say a cute fox wifey, but Tamamo might actually just shoot you. So I don't know about all that one. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace late, guys.